So we have a small change to our setup. I'm going to try to record this with this camera. A new software. As you can see, the display changed quite a bit. And a relay here. We zoom in a little more here. There you can attach the heating. So the thermostat you usually have in your house comes with two wires to turn your steam heat on, and they will be connected here on this relay board. It's connected to power and signal. I have connected here on digital input 7, and then down here I show now both temperatures. From sensor 1 is over here and sensor 2 is over here, 21 degrees. And I display the heat request. So the heat is off right now. Now, if temperature 2 raises, it turns the heat on. Why not 4? So it's easier for me to make this warmer, the sensor, than it is colder. So as a test, I warm it up with my finger. You can see the temperature 2 is rising. And when it reaches 26, the heat comes on. See that? The thing turns red, the relay turns red, and when it falls below 26, then it turns off again. This is just a test for me to test how this whole thing works. In real life, then we have to do this the other way around, right? So the heat turns on when it's cold, and it turns off when it's warm enough. And so the logic behind that we have to do in the software. But so the hardware prototype is ready now. I have two temperature sensors and a relay to turn this whole thing on and off. This big Uno R3 I'm going to replace with a smaller one, so I don't have so much stuff hanging around. And then the whole electronics here we make smaller. Right? And then we see what power supply we use, how long this will work. We have to see. I don't need an LCD display. I don't need this. I can run this whole thing without that. You know? It's just to make it pretty for YouTube here. And to look at our prototype if the prototype works right. Right? There is this thing where we can switch the thing here, look. This or inverted. Yeah. What is the best? Here, like this. This looks the best. The eyes, but not for the camera. Huh? Let's see this. Can you see this good? Here. Oh. What is the best contrast in the camera? I think this is pretty so far, right? Like this. Let me do this again. So I'm going to heat it up. 26. There it goes. See, the red light comes on. The thermostat is on, and when it cools down, there it goes, and it turns off. Okay, so we now change the software a little bit here. We have the liquid crystal header in there, so that we can use an LCD display. I have something here where I set the relay, the word relay, as pin 7 for the input. That's where we, or output, where we turn the relay on and off, and then a boolean here, where heat false means the heat is off, and heat true means the heat is on. And my waiting time is 1 second again. So every second I go through this whole thing. We talked about this initializing the LCD and setting it up to the size of LCD I have. And then we are in the main loop now. So we read the temperature. Then we calculate the temperature out of the values we read. And then we turn the heat on and off depending on the temperature. So this will be the place where our whole logic will happen. Now, because I it's easier for me to warm the sensor up than to cool it down. I have this inverse now, so if the temperature on sensor 2 is more than 26, then I turn the heat on, and if the temperature is less than that, I turn it off. Okay, and once that is done, then we display what's happening here. We clear the display, and then after that we set the cursor to 0 and show temperature 1 and temperature 2 in the first line of the display, right? In the second line then here, we write if the heat is either on or off. And then we wait for 1 second and we go through this whole loop again. In reality, we will probably do this every minute. So we don't need to do this so often.